The following takes place between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m.
And other than that, last but not least, believe it or not, the blue whale's tongue weighs more than an adult elephant. Oh, hit me with my Believe It or Not music. Oh, yeah! Wow. I had no idea about the tongue weighing more than the whole elephant. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, an elephant, what do they weigh? A ton? A ton and a half? So 3,000 pounds?
That's one powerful tongue.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Nicola?
I'm just glad they don't fall out of the sky. That would hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
It would. So what is going on with you in Toronto Animal Services? And tell us, what is your what level are you on right now for the flu, for the swine flu?
What level am I on?
It's Toronto Animal Service. What is the preparation? Because this could be spreading.
Yeah. We do get little messages from the people who control communicable disease, advising us of everything you see on the media. There is absolutely nothing in particular, because at this point, it's not, unless you go probably
it's an unknown
South America and make out with a pig, you're probably okay, because it's all human transmission.
It doesn't have to be in South America.
No, I mean they could get your number and call you. That's fine too.
No, but have you had calls from people saying, "Is this something that my dog or my cat can get?"
Not as far as I know, but remember, we've got a central dispatch,
right.
so I'm not sure
if
they've had those kind of calls. I would say not. I think it's media's done a pretty good job of saying, listen, it's about coming into contact with someone who may be, infectious, who's visited, et cetera, and it's all about prevention, and you know what? Any day we should be washing our hands and being careful.
Yeah,
There's all kinds of little bugs out there.
Let's do a conference call right now to Toronto Animal Services and ask dispatch if they if they know if this disease if the pets can get it.
Dispatch has gone home for the day.
Well, there's got to be some number, isn't it? 24/7.
Yeah, but we work off. It's an after-hour service.
Right.
It's not our regular dispatchers.
So I wonder what they would say if we called up and did that right now.
Well, you go and do that, and I'll talk to Nicola.
They would be incredibly confused.
Yes. Question for you is, I know they're illegal in Toronto, but did you guys ever deal with potbelly pigs? Even though they're illegal, that doesn't mean people don't have them.
Actually, last year, we picked up a stray pot-bellied pig in Etobicoke on the 8th floor of an apartment building.
Interesting. So those guys are supposedly to worry. I've been hearing word that, if you do have pet pigs, which I guess in some of the outreach areas, they can be a problem, potentially.
Ah.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I've been reading. That they're not worried about cats, they're not worried about dogs, but they say that if you have any potbelly pigs or pet pigs, that and this is probably stuff that comes down from the States. But I know that there are places here in Ontario where it's legal to have them. So who knows what will happen?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. I guess it's because, like you say, perhaps in other regions, but certainly I've not been aware of anything here.
Good.
But you never know. Pigs just aren't a big problem here in Toronto, right?
You got it.
But I got to tell you, just completely off topic, I want to get a second to put this out there, that we are having a huge adopt-a-thon this weekend at the Leaside PetSmart. That's at Laird and Eglinton.
Okay.
We're going to have a couple staff there. We're going to have cats, dogs, a few small domestics. And, Kristen's going to be there. Kristen and Angie, I think, and they're both available for adoption as well.
I thought those were your coworkers.
Kristen is free to a good home. That's what I'm going to say. I'm just teasing. But no, we're going to have some animals there. Come by, find yourself a little pet, and all kinds of information, too, we'll have. And next weekend, we're going to be having one at the Kennel Cafe at 295 Roncesvalles. And you can give us a call for more information.
Wow, great.
So, we're on the topic right now of diseases and these kind of infectious diseases, pandemic diseases that are coming around, and obviously going from person to person, and what the next step is going to be, going from animal to animal, and kind of getting scared here. But let me ask you something. Mike and I were talking before, Dr. Mike and I were talking before, we were talking about rabies, and rabies being one of the big bad ones. And how often are you called in and you have to, unfortunately, deal with an animal that has rabies?
I would estimate that being zero.
Really?
Zero. The anytime a wild animal has bitten a person, or if we get cases, I think Mike was talking about bats. We do go a number of times a year to remove an errant bat from someone's bedroom and whatnot.
Right.
And there are guidelines we follow in conjunction with public health. And if there's a risk of exposure, then the bat is sent for testing. And I'm not aware, and that's not to say no, because public health handles that. I'm not aware of anyone who has come in contact with a rabies vector or a bat or whatever the case may be. But if the risk has been significant, often the person who was bitten or potentially exposed will go through something called PEP, post-exposure prophylaxis, where they go through, I think it's, 5 or 7 needles?
I think it's 5.
Maybe, Mike, you can... I think it's 5, yeah. I actually had it a number of years ago because I was bitten by a bat. Yeah. But it's pretty, pretty easy to go through, and they test your titers and make sure that you're going to be okay. But we do get a number of suspected cases or possible cases, and it's one of those things where you've got to err on the side of caution. You cannot mess around with that, as you say. I mean, it's fatal.
Another disease that we forgot to mention: West Nile virus.
Mm-hmm.
That takes down birds, crows, mosquitoes, and Oompa Loompas. Oompa Loompas. There used to be a ton of Oompa Loompas. West Nile took them out. You've seen Charlie in the Cheesecake Factory, whatever it's called.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, God, he's good for a good laugh once in a while.
We all know an Oompa Loompa. They're gone. West Nile
Cheesecake Factory.
I don't know.
Strawberry Cheesecake Factory, that is. Okay.
Hey, there you go. There's so much stuff out there. Mike and I are going to make a bubble and just live in the bubble together.
Not.
Why?
You live in your own bubble, buddy.
You wouldn't live in a bubble with me?
It's good that you're not inciting panic or anything, Aaron.
I was going to say, my Lord.
Whatever.
I mean,
it's not like I'm sitting here wearing a mask and rubbing lotion, sanitizer on microphone stands and everything.
Which he is.
Hey, you started it.
I've been bitten by a bat. I've worked with all kinds of wildlife. I've been bitten, scratched. I'm in contact with stuff. Whatever.
I have staff here from Regina. Who knows what they brought with them?
Oh, well, that's different.
Oh, Lord.
You're fine.
Yes.
You're just a little on the paranoid side.
I do have to ask you one question while I've got you on the phone, because we talked about this earlier. Your 2 cents. They talk about simian AIDS, and it came and humans got AIDS from monkeys and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
What are your thoughts on, like, FIV, HIV? We know they're the same virus. They're both retroviruses. They both attack the same way, and they say they're species-specific. But, with these mutation things, I have to admit, sometimes you get a little nervous about the fact that what if an FIV virus mutated and now it was able to go to humans or vice versa?
Am I right in thinking they study the FIV virus when because it's safer to test in laboratories rather than the actual human HIV?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's been years since I actually was in university and studied these things. But, it's an interesting point. I would say that's...
Because you deal with stray male cats all the time, and a lot of those guys are FIV positive, I'm sure.
Yeah. I have a business degree, that's it.
To put through to a virologist or someone like that, and the possibility. Because like you say, these little protein coats are very, very, malleable and change and adapt and so on. But it's interesting to know... Now I'm just going to sit here and think.
No, but people, I have to admit, I probably get a client a month that, they read about FIV and they say, hey, can we get that? That's a common question for me. I get more of that type of question than I do with rabies or anything like that. Wow. I really do. It's pretty common because in my clinic we have a lot of outdoor cats. And so, they come in and they have an abscess or they're sick. And I always say, well, we better test them for, AIDS. And they go, wow, AIDS, is that the kind of AIDS I can get? And
yeah, it's very wishy-washy these days. Nicola, you have a great night. We got to go, okay, darling?
Well, I'm just going to sit here and ponder that question.
Thank you.
We'll talk about it next week.
Take care of yourself, Nicola.
Thanks.
Nicola from Toronto Animal Services.
Toronto.ca/animal services. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about my health.
It's okay.